Hi Jennifer, this is Donnie Vaughn of the Marketing Twins. I want to do this tutorial on the dashboard overview. This is the main place that you'll come to make updates to your website. So when you log in, you'll be brought to the dashboard. And so I wanted you to be familiar with what's on the dashboard. And then I would encourage you to watch the specific videos on this tutorial page that that you'll see below that highlights certain things that you want to do, how to update certain pages, how to update blog posts, how to update the media library with photos, and how to change the rotating images, things of that nature. So each of those are covered in specific tutorials. This is just simply an overview of the dashboard, so you'll see what you're. It'll make sense what you're seeing here. Before I get into that, there's a couple things I want to point out. One, if you let me start off by saying that part of your support feature from the website standpoint is already paid for 2010. When you paid us to do the website, that's already covered. So we pride ourselves on being able to say, look, if you have a problem with your website, while we want to give you the ability to update it yourself, we always know that sometimes there comes problems. We have problems with our own site from time to time. If you ever have a problem like that, I don't want you to ever think about the fact that you can't contact us to help get that problem resolved. You've paid for that, so I want you to be confident in that. If you go to make an update to a blog post, or you go to update a photo on the site, or make a text change and something goes haywire, and we all know that sometimes they can do that, I want you to contact us. If for some reason your website doesn't look like it's supposed to on one day, and I'm not looking at it, but you happen to be looking at it, or customer calls and says something's wrong with your site, please let us know just as soon as possible. Part of that support, part of what you get for it is a support feature, and you've already paid that, and we want to make sure you're aware of that. I never want you to think you can't contact us. If you're watching this in 2011, 2012, assuming you've paid your annual support fee in January or late December, then the same thing applies. You've already paid for that for the year, so you want to make sure you utilize that if you need to. Some people need to use it more frequently than others, but we want to make sure that's available to you. Secondly, there are some things on this dashboard I want to have you avoid using. Primarily, it's this section right here, which is also located here. WordPress will make updates to its software from time to time. We will monitor that, so you don't have to worry about that. If you see this thing every time, sometimes it might say 293 or 3.0 or something like that. Just don't ever click that or click this. Just avoid those two things here about updates. We'll monitor that on our end. Secondly, don't ever click the change theme button. The graphics and layout for the site was designed on a particular theme, and so if you change the theme, your website will look dramatically different, and not in a good way. So I want to make sure that you are aware of that. Okay, let's get started on what you see here on the dashboard. I'll go real quickly through this. You think about this as you have this left side, and then you have this column here and this column here. Primarily on this column here and this column here, you will not use really any of this information. Um, the only thing that you might have an interest in is this section here under comments. You've already noted that you've received comments when people comment on your blog. And when I say comments, this is comments to your blog. You've already seen these. You get notified of these when somebody comments, and so you can go in there and approve or delete them. This is where you could do that. There's also a section over here to do that, which I'll talk about briefly in a moment. But primarily, you probably want to, you can click on the link in the email and it'll take you to the section where you can approve. But if you happen to have a lot of comments that you want to approve or delete, and you just want to log in the dashboard and do them in one place, this is where you would do that. So you can view all and see all of that. Okay, so for the most part, all this stuff on this side and on this side you can just avoid. You don't really need to do anything with that. Okay, down this side, don't worry about this thing here. This is a spam. Same thing, it's block spam from getting into your blog. And so, unfortunately, we can't block 100% of spam, but we can, having that, that's a plugin on the site. It really helps avoid that. So that's what that is. All right, let's talk about what posts are, and then I want to show you what pages are, or that would really talk about the two different things. Post, this is when and you'll see a tutorial down below. If you ever want to update a post, a blog post, or create a new blog post, this is where you do it. People often ask, why doesn't it say blog there? Well, blog is a collection of posts. So this is where you want to add your posts. And you can add them here. You can edit new ones, and there's categories and tags and things like that nature. This is where you want to do anything to do with your blog. Now down here, this is where you want to do the other pages on your site. For instance, your gourmet page, maybe your hours of operation page, your about us page, or whatever, about all these other pages. All of those are pages. The only exception would be when you get to the blog page. Those that is a series of posts that come in, and they'll just stack one on top of each other. So that's the difference in pages and posts. Now, library here, every image, and I'll just click on the word library here just so you can see what it is. Every image that's on your site is located in the media library. So this is the media library here, and you can see all the different images. If I scroll up, you see here there's 114 images. Now, some of those images may be outdated images. They may be images that we started off with that we decided to never use, and that's fine. They can remain in there. You never know. Sometimes we might come back to those images, but you don't have to worry about deleting anything off that's old or anything like that. Okay. Links, you won't need to worry anything about links. I've already talked about pages. Again, comments is where you can moderate comments. This section here, you probably won't do a whole lot in here except maybe under this featured images section. Again, there's a tutorial down below on how to work on those images. The appearance, again, most of the time you're going to be spending working on these two sections here, widgets and editor. This add new themes and custom header, you want to avoid both of those, as you want to avoid this top one here that says themes. Your focus is going to be primarily on widgets, but from time to time, you may have to ever get an editor. I don't know if we'll do a tutorial on that or not, but in widgets, we definitely will do one on that. Plugins, these are just plugins that make the site run. It may be the contact form. It may be different things that allow the WordPress. You just want to avoid this. This little number 2 here is just telling us that there are 2 updates available on those plugins. Doesn't mean we have to do anything with it, so you just avoid that. We'll monitor that. Same thing with users and tools and settings. You don't need to mess with anything on that right now. And all the rest of the stuff is pretty basic WordPress kind of stuff that you probably won't deal with on a regular basis. I'm going to click Dashboard here to get us back to the beginning. And this is pretty much, again, what you'll see when you log in. All this stuff up here at the top that you see, again, you don't need to worry about any of these. This is kind of another way of getting to a new blog post, but I want to get you familiar with using this section over here because that's going to be the best place. Don't worry about screen options or help. Turbo, I mean, you could log out when you're done. That would probably be the only button over here that you'd want to use. And I think that takes care of, this is the dashboard overview, so you now can watch the rest of the video tutorials that you see down below. Thanks.